this is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Deluxe Class Bumblebee, part of the thrilling 30 of Transformers, celebrating 30 years of the franchise. And yep, it's another Bumblebee. I mean, so what are you gonna do? Now, the one thing that's very cool is this is basically based off the IDW incarnation of the character, and you see in the background that it does come with a comic book spotlighting Bumblebee himself. That comic book itself actually is part of basically the artwork for the character, or the toy, which looks really very cool. And you see his vehicle mode, and it's really interesting because he's got a lot of different design cues in him. I mean, he's got the muscle car look, which kind of looks like a Mustang, honestly. And you got the stripes and like a head that really has a very G1-ish kind of look to it. So I'm really interested about this guy. I saw him at BotCon and I was actually pretty impressed with him. Now, the one that I'm really looking forward to is the repaint of him into Goldbug, or they're calling him something else. They're not actually calling him Goldbug, but we'll get to that in that review. Then you come around here to the side, you see that he's the fourth figure in the line. And on the bottom, you got Trail Cutter and, of course, Orion Pax. Then when you come to the back, his tech specs, his Stinger blasters combined in, like I said, his sports car mode. And then it says, rebuilt into a new, more powerful form, Bumblebee attacks life and the Decepticons with a newfound confidence. His enhanced speed, armor, and strength all combine to make him the warrior he's always wanted to be. But he remains devoted to his human friends and the Autobots' ideal of freedom. But I'm really curious to know. I mean, rebuilt from what form? What did he look like before? Maybe the Spotlight comic will explain that to us. We'll have to see, but I know he's yellow, he's bright, he's probably going to be hard to see. So I'll give it my best. But there you have Bumblebee in his packaging. I really love the artwork and the packaging on this. Really very cool. But that's about it for that. So let's get him open and see how cool he actually is.
Alright guys, so here we have Bumblebee open up and out of its packaging. And like I said in the intro, it really does have a very Mustang kind of look, especially with the hood in the front grille section. Very, very Mustang looking. Now, some people say that it looks like a Charger. I don't see the Charger look. I see Mustang on here more than anything else. And honestly, I don't mind that at all. I think it looks cool. One problem that I don't know if you're going to notice, but the chest piece sticks down way too far. So it really, I can feel it scraping, and I got it as pushed in as I can. It can roll fairly well, and you can see the tires are moving, but I can also feel it very subtly scraping across that, and that's something that really bugs me. That bugs me more than anything else. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the yellow on here, and you can sort of see that there are some differences. Obviously, this yellow here is much different than what we have here. This is a painted yellow on here, and this is all molded. So the only part that I really see that sticks out, I think, badly, at least to my naked eye, is probably going to be this bit right here. Zoom in so that you can see that a little bit better. This little upside down L-shaped thing I think is probably the most offensive of the yellow bits. The other part that I have a problem with is the stripping. As you can see, this is painted too far over, or specifically maybe this one right here is painted too far over that way, but that kind of bugs me, I guess. But overall, I really like the way that this card mode looks. I think it's really nice. It's very bright, it's very yellow, but it's very Bumblebee to me, and I really do dig that. Got some nice silver painted rims on the guy. Overall, I mean, like I said, it's a nice looking vehicle mode. It's got similar looks to the movie. I mean, you got the striping and everything going on, but to me, it looks more like a Mustang. Now, the inward angle, I guess, of the hood here might look more like a Charger, but how it hangs over like that and has a inward angle here sloping down, that's more Mustang looking to me, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Now, the back doesn't necessarily look like a Mustang. That doesn't look like a Mustang at all. I don't know what that looks like. Now, his weapons, you can see that they do combine. You can separate them and rotate these little pegs down if you really wanted to. And again, I don't know why anybody would want to do this, because it really looks kind of goofy. And then put that there. If you guys hear sawing in the background, I apologize. My windows are open because it's fairly warm today, and somebody across the street is building a fence and they're sawing. So, but you have this for his weaponized vehicle mode, or you could go like that maybe, and it can smash you or something. That just looks dumb. I mean, there's so many times that weapons incorporated with the vehicle mode look stupid that something like this really makes me appreciate what they did with Megatron. I really do like that. So, like I said, you can combine these. They just peg together like so, and then you can take this and you can actually, well, leave that down, and he's got a gun that he can hold, but we'll show that off here more later on in his robot mode. Now, to transform him, the transformation is probably the most annoying aspect of this figure. It's not terrible, but the tabs seem to be a little bit longer, making things a little bit more complicated, I guess. So first, what I like doing is I like loosening these side panels right here, kind of bowing these out here at the door, and then taking these doors, and these doors are a pain in the butt. You really have to pull to get these to pull out. Like I said, the tabs just seem like they're too long, and it makes them tab in very nicely, but it's a pain to deal with. So then we're going to take this, lift this section up like so, releasing these back leg areas, rotate this out just like so. You're going to split this. Now this is actually not in the instructions, so we're going to do this with the leg. And this bit, I can imagine why they don't have this in the instructions, because this bit right here also makes things a pain in the butt. Come on, see, like something like that makes, like that little tab right there is just a little, like, hair too much or too long. Now, the instructions don't show you to do this, but you have to do it in order to get the legs, I guess, positioned properly. I mean, I actually watched Bolt Matrix review on this, and he couldn't get the back windows to line up, because as you can see, these bits actually slide, and it's a pain in the butt to get it done. And like something like this, you can't bring them together, and we'll touch on that here more later when we're going back to the vehicle mode. But you want to slide those out so it's something like that. Getting that, making sure that's all the way out there. And it's like I said, it's a bit of a pain to actually do, to be totally honest with you. And then just straighten out his legs to get them however you want. Come up to the top, we're going to split these up even more and take this entire section, collapse this all the way down, and then you want to make sure that you actually push this down and lock this bottom section down into the bits on his abdomen. That locks it into place, and then bring this down. This is going to tab into his back like so, kind of. Make sure that stays like that. You're going to separate these from his forearms, rotate that around. Then this angles in, and you can bring that out like so. Do that on this side as well. Angle that in, bring that out, position them around, and here you have Bumblebee in his robot mode.
Now, Bumblebee here in his bot mode really does have a lot of elements that remind me of other things. I mean, he's got a very G1-esque kind of head. The transformation for this is very similar to a lot of the movie Bumblebees. So, while it looks completely different, and obviously the mold is absolutely different, there is a lot of similarity with this guy, and that may be a bad thing for him. I don't think people are going to give him a real fair shot because of those kind of things, and that's really unfortunate. And in addition to that, I probably think that as Bumblebee, people aren't going to give him a shot because they're sick of Bumblebee. And that too is pretty unfortunate. Now, you see his gun right here, you have it pegged in here. One thing that's kind of interesting is he does also have holes here on the bottom of his forearms. If you wanted to, you could do that. I don't know why you would want to, but I don't know why those holes are really there, other than maybe taking it and putting one underneath there, and then taking this one, and you can rotate this and put that underneath there, I guess. Kind of looking like animated Bumblebee with his stingers. So I don't really know, but overall it is a really nice looking figure that I think a lot of people should give a chance to, because he's fun. I really do dig the little guy, and I think his face is one of the best looking parts on him. And so that you can see that he's got some really good light piping too. It's coming across more clear, but this is also coming across very clear, and it's very hard to see, but it has a slight blue tint, very slight, and these eyes have that as well, but
you can see that really good light pipe in there. I love the Autobot logo there, but that face is just really very cool, and I love his little smirk. He's got his little horns on there. I mean, that's absolutely Bumblebee, and I totally dig it. Now again, the yellow problem comes in. You can kind of see it here. This is a all black forearm that's painted yellow. You can see that it's completely different than the molded yellow on the rest of the body. So that's another thing that I'm sure people will have a problem with. It's very much in line like the yellow paint here on his weapon. Now I don't know how well that's going to come across on the camera, so it may be individual mileage may vary kind of thing, but one thing that I don't particularly like is the backpack kind of thing. It's not bad. It folds in fairly good. I wish it folded in just a little bit better. When you get this lifted up, I wish this could fold in on itself or something like that. Just kind of tuck up underneath there and then bring this down. It would just probably look a lot better if you didn't have that dangling between his leg. Just very awkward looking, I suppose. The other minor nitpick that I have with him is his head. It's unfortunately only on a swivel joint. It goes left and right, and that's it. But you can see it really kind of looks like he's perpetually looking down. There's no ball joint there, so you can't get him to look up, and that kind of sucks. So that's a negative in my opinion. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so you get well, actually they're just swivel joints. I'm sorry, but they swivel here at the shoulder. They move in and out. This will rotate around, so you can get different poses, but when you bring it up, obviously that's going to come down. But I really dig how that looks right there. That's a really cool look for him. He also rotates here just above the elbow. He's got nice ratchet joints at the elbow, nothing at the wrist. He does rotate slightly at the waist, but because, well, I mean, he rotates all the way around at the waist, but depending on how much of this junk you have in the way, it's going to be a little bit more limited. The hips here are on ball joints, forward and back motion. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. He's got nice ratchet joints here at the knee, and then the feet move forward and back. They're on a little bit of a ball joint and a swivel underneath here as well. You can see the ball joints pretty high up on the ankle, and then you got a swivel more down towards the lower part of the ankle. So a lot of articulation in him. I just really wish that he had a ball joint on his neck. I think that would really make the figure a little bit better, since, like I said, it really kind of looks like he's looking down. But I do really dig this guy, and he's a good size actually. For comparison, we're gonna set him here. Here he is next to Orion Pax, and take a look, guys. This is a deluxe Bumblebee that's taller than Orion Pax, so that's really very cool in my opinion. Everybody complains about the smaller figures. Well, this Bumblebee's a little bit bigger, and for me, that's pretty darn cool. He's just a really very fun toy. I get a lot of enjoyment out of looking at him like this. I mean, it's a new look for Bumblebee, and I really do dig it. Now, the transformation back to his vehicle mode is probably a little bit more of a pain in the butt than going from his vehicle to his robot. So that's one reason why I like showing transformations both ways. So first, what do you do? I'm going to rotate, well, straighten out his arms. I'm going to rotate these down and around, and you have this little notch right here, or groove, that when you fold this in, it actually fits into a little line peg on the inside. So get that in just so that's nice and tight to the actual arm. Do that on both sides. Bring out the doors, bring that in just like so, and we're just going to put them down like that. Loosen this torso bit. Oh, that actually detached in the first place, so loosen that and then pull that all the way up, and then take this section here on the back, fold this forward, and then just angle this up, just getting it out of the way. You push that all the way up there, lift this up, keep it out of the way. Now we come to the annoying part, these leg bits. Now, you don't have to do this, but through the course of just playing with them, they're going to shift over anyhow, but they kind of lock almost in that position. So, when I'm going to show you how Bolt Matrix had it. So you bring this up, and again, I really despise these tabs. They're just a little bit too long. I'm probably going to shave them down, honestly. So get that up there, and actually, because it's so far over, it's jacking things up with these as well. So trying to, well, let me see here. So bringing this around, I'm just gonna give you an idea of what he did. Then you bring these, tuck these underneath there, tuck that underneath there. Now, this is how he had it, and he wasn't able to bring the rear window together. The reasoning is because it was slid over. And, oops. Ah! That's terrible. That's all right, so you probably don't want to rotate him too much because you completely separate his torso. Okay, so you can see where the bit right here on the back section is what slides on here. So moving this over, you can see it sort of move over, but getting it all the way over and then you hear it pop, that's what you want. So see, this is how you can tell the difference. This is perfectly lined up, this is not, and it's not easy to do, at least for me. So if you guys have an easier time doing it, God bless you. So I'm trying to get in there and really push on this, and it's a pain. It's such a pain. That's such a... I can't stand it. Now, like I said, you don't have to do it, but it's there to do. So I would probably say don't do it, just because of how much of a pain it actually is. So getting it like that, then you rotate these down and around, bringing them up underneath here, then bring these up, those tab in, and then you have to kind of go on an angle, go down like so, and fit these together, and then get them to tab together. There we go, and then lock them in like that. Bring this down, there we go, get that like so, bring that forward, bring this up, and then once you kind of get it like so, keep that like that, then bring the doors in and angle them, tab those in, then you can slide these top sections into place like that. Makes it a little bit easier than putting the full front section in and then having to bend stuff to get that door locked in and push it in there. And here you have Bumblebee back in his, well, muscle car mode. Now, Bumblebee is a character that, sadly, over the past couple years, in my opinion, has got a bad rap. For whatever reason, people are really losing their connection with him. I never really have. I love Bumblebee in the movies. I mean, granted, we get a lot of the toys from him, but kids love the toys, so I guess that makes sense. And lately, with Transformers Prime, I'm loving Bumblebee in it. When I was reading the spotlight for this guy, it again made me really enjoy the character of Bumblebee. And I'm absolutely digging this toy. Vehicle mode, he looks really cool. It's really interesting to see Bumblebee in a Mustang kind of look, but it's not bad. It's a very sleek looking car and I really dig it. Now the transformation can be a little bit annoying, especially back here, but you can see you can get it perfectly lined up. It does have a similar transformation to a lot of things that we've gotten, and utilizes a lot of elements that other figures have used, but it's not a bad thing. Going back to his vehicle mode though is a pain in the butt, especially back here with these windows. Now you don't have to move them, but as I said, just through the course of playing with the toy, it's gonna shift. So be prepared for that. And then the robot mode is gorgeous. I love the way that he looks. I think he's so cool looking and really is, the robot mode just works so well as a Bumblebee. Now, all said and done, out of the 4 figures from the first wave of the IDW figures, this probably is the weakest, but only because the other ones are so good. He's still an absolutely wonderful figure, and I highly recommend picking him up. Just, if the other figures weren't so good, he'd probably get a even better recommendation from me, I guess. But he is well worth getting, guys. But if you are interested in picking him up, go ahead and click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Big Bad Toy Store and you can pick up this guy as well as the rest of the series and help to support Hasbro in bringing us these really cool IDW characters in terms of toy form. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find our recent purchases as well as all upcoming video reviews all at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and follow me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.